Misty from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome to the third week of Festive Friday. If you're new to my channel or new to this series, every Friday, hopefully, in the year of 2015, I'm going to try to post a holiday video for three reasons, really. The first is to use up what's in my stash and stamp with stamps that I haven't even opened yet. The second is to kind of build an inventory. I have a goal to do a craft fair at the end of the year. And the third is to make sure that I have Christmas cards that are ready to go by the 1st of December. So I'm bringing you along for the ride. So today I'm using 2 stamp sets and 1 paper pad. So the stamp set I'm using is called Ornament Keepsakes, and this is from Stampin' Up. The last time, I actually just recently got this. It was on the clearance rack. I looked yesterday. I don't know that the stamp set is still available, but the framelets, because we're going to use the matching framelets, they're called holiday ornament framelets to cut out the ornament. Those are still available. So if you happen to already have the stamp set and you didn't get the framelets, or you can find it on the clearance rack. I'm using this Winter Fun pad from Carta. I'm using this stamp set from Hero Arts called Sparkle with Happiness. I believe that's what it's called. Yep, Sparkle with Happiness. And we're using Merry Christmas and this large sentiment right here. So let's get started. I'm going to move everything out of the way. I already have everything mounted. So we're going to start by stamping our ornament because I'm going to cut that out. And, and I'm also using the circle collection framelets from Stampin' Up, and I'm using the 2 largest, and I'll show you that in just a second. So I'm actually going to be embossing today. I know what you're thinking. You're like, surprise, surprise. But I'm using some more of this Zing glitter embossing powder, and I'm using this pretty copper color. Oh, I absolutely love it. And I've been racking my brains on a color scheme to use it on, and I came up with one today, and hopefully it'll work out. So we'll see. So I'm inking up my stamp. And I have the wood mount stamp set. That's what was available, but I just didn't mount it on the wood. I'm using it on a clear mount because I don't feel like I get I just don't like wood mount. Like, I don't feel like I can see anything. And I know a lot of people swear by wood mount, and I'm like, good for you, because it drives me crazy. And you may have noticed that I did not use my embossing buddy, and that's because I cannot find it. It is gone missing. I'm sure it's somewhere on this desk. My concern is that my husband was in here vacuuming the other day, and sometimes he doesn't really pay attention to what he's doing, and sometimes things disappear. So I'm also going to be heat embossing the Merry Christmas sentiment from that Hero Art set, and I'm going to be stamping it on this piece of pattern paper. This is from that Carta stack. I'm going to get something on the stamp. Oh, it's underneath. Okay. Well, hopefully it's not in the way. So let me ink it back up. And I'm going to go over to the left because this is actually going to be made into a banner. See, looks pretty good. Okay, so let me get my embossing powder. I'm actually using a card that I found on Pinterest as inspiration for my card today, and I will, if I can remember, I will try to insert it into the video, but if not, it'll be linked with my coordinating blog post, which will be linked down below. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty! This glitter embossing powder is just serious. Okay, so it didn't get the entire Y, so let me grab my Versamarker, because I have one. And a Versamarker is just a Versamark ink pad in pen form. And I'm gonna have to find my so I'm just gonna kind of follow where I think that Y would go. That looks ridiculous, but we're gonna go with it. Actually, yeah, no, we're gonna go with it because I don't have another piece. Well, that's not too bad. That's not too horrible. Okay, so let me go ahead and do the ornament, and then we'll heat emboss it, and then we'll get it into the big shot and get it cut out. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so pretty. And I had a really hard time deciding on whether or not to do white, like a white background, or use a vanilla, but the vanilla had just too much yellow in it, and I felt like it was offering too much of a contrast, or is like conflicting with this copper. So I'm gonna, let me clean this up. And then I'm gonna heat emboss this, and then we'll get it cut out on the big shot. So give me just a second and I will be right back. A couple of things off camera. Number one, I wanted to bring in some more copper, and I wasn't loving the copper sentiment on that pale kind of blue paper from the paper stack. So I decided I'm going to stamp my greeting on the Whisper White. So what I did was I took a piece of Whisper White. This measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I just took my Versamark ink pad and went along the outside and then dumped that embossing powder on and heated it up. And isn't that so pretty? We're going to use this as a layer in just a minute. But I've decided to go ahead and stamp the Merry Christmas in Island Indigo to go with, to kind of tie in that color. And like I said, I just didn't care for it on the on that blue. So let's try this. And I also need to bring in the white inside this ornament. So I think this Whisper White will do that just fine. I'm going to stamp off. Yep, I'm not getting that Y. There we go. Let's try this. Do it to the left again because I'm going to make this into a banner. Perfect. That looks great. Okay, so now let me bring in my big shot. Get this out of the way. Okay. Ooh. So I've got my magnetic platform. I've got a cutting pad. I'm going to go ahead and put down the ornament. Okay, so let me bring in, I'm using the largest circle from that framelit set, and I'm actually going to offset this just a little bit because I would end up cutting this off anyway, so I didn't want to waste the cardstock if I'm just going to cut it anyway. So we'll do that one right there, and then I'm using this piece of pattern paper for the smaller next size down circle. So let's run this through next. Okay, move my big shot back off to the side. See how we did? Perfect. Okay. Put those to the side. Okay, let me go ahead and start assembling. So let me pull in my card base. You know what? No, let me stamp one last thing. And that's the inside of our card. And I'm going to use that stamp set from the other stamp from the Hero Art stamp set. You get up with Island Indigo. I really love this kind of turquoisey blue color. Perfect. Now let's start assembling. So here is my card base. Again, it's Island Indigo, cut at 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. My first piece is going to be this layer, and I just remembered I'm going to add ribbon. So I'm going to set the card base aside and let me add the layer, and that's this piece of pattern paper from that stack. It's like a kind of a damask sort of. So I'm going to add this with some snail. So let me go ahead and add this. And it just leaves about 1/8 of an inch all around. So I love that. So let me bring in my ribbon. I'm just using some ribbon that I got at Michael's, I believe, a couple of Christmases ago. I'm going to do a thin and a thick. So this is actually a wired ribbon. So I can't decide if I want a piece of Island Indigo between, if I want to put this on first and then put the ribbon over it. Nope, let's definitely put this underneath. And I'm just going to add some snail on the back because I don't know where my tape is. Grab my Tim Holt scissors so it'll cut through the wire. Okay, then I have this thinner copper ribbon that I'm going to attach on top of this ribbon. So we'll put that on there like this. Make sure it's straight. And we can play with it if we need to. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that's correct. Oh, there we go. That's not bad, right? I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty. Okay, so let's keep going. Go ahead and... Okay, obviously that's not gonna work. Let's try some glue dots. Shall we? Shall we try some glue dots? I don't have any Scotch tape. We used it all up at Christmas with wrapping presents, and I just haven't thought to put any more on the grocery list. Okay, that side's attached. Oh, yep, no, that's good. That looks good to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these adhered together, and then I can trim it down. Okay, I'm gonna attach this with some foam tape. I've got just a little bit left. Here's the end of my roll. Of course, this wasn't one of those great big rolls anyway. It was just one of the small ones because I had never used this tape before and I just wanted to see if it was something I would like, and it is, so I may end up purchasing that huge roll. We'll see. We'll see. Because sometimes when you're doing an extra large piece, I think it's easier to just rip off a big sheet of, or a big strip of this foam tape rather than, you know, trying to use up a ton of dimensionals. And you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, that I use a lot of dimensionals anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this right there. Okay, let's get our ornament. Have a bow. So do we want the ornament on the bow or the bow on the ornament, or do we want the bow? Actually, no, let me go ahead and do my sentiment and then I can continue to ponder that. Oh, here it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this into a banner. So I'm just gonna go up and then cut from the corner to the middle, from the corner to the middle. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to kind of center this on my card. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut up right there. And I'm going to cut to the center, cut to the center, and then I'm going to attach this. Wow, talking about not going right in this video today. I think I want to bring that a little closer. I would abandon ship, but I feel like I'm already invested. Right? I don't like that though. Maybe we won't do a sentiment on the outside. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take this off, hopefully without ripping. Okay, and I'm gonna move this over. Gonna move it over. Yep, I like that better. Okay. I tried this on the back, but I didn't stamp well enough, and I think I need to re-ink my Versamark pad again. So. This may end up being my very first voiceover video if I can't get my stuff together. It's like, I need to talk and tell you what I'm doing, but I can't decide what exactly I'm doing at the same time. Okay, that's pretty. Let me get a glue dot for my bow. And I left the tails on just because I wasn't sure how long I wanted to cut them. Oh, there, I like that, right? We like that? Okay, let me cut it, trim this way, and trim this one this way. What do you think? I actually kind of like this, but I still feel like it needs something on the front. Okay, so I went ahead and cut down a strip of the Lost Lagoon, good gravy, Island Indigo, and I re-stamped the Merry Christmas and embossed it with that copper embossing powder. Now I'm going to use the banner punch from Stampin' Up! To do a banner end. Talk about getting smart. No, I'm not, because that's going to cut it off. You know what? I'm not going to do a banner end. Good grief, Misty. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do dimensionals on each end. And then some snail down the center. And let's see. I think I want this right, nope. Here. And this is going to need another dimensional. And then this end, I'm going to cut off. And while I'm back here, let me go ahead and add another glue dot because this is not going to stay. There we go. Here's one that came off on my finger. Okay, so now let's go to the card base. Okay, Island Indigo, cut up 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. Let me put my inside panel in before things get too crazy. Make sure I'm in frame. If I go to edit this video and I haven't been in frame this whole entire time, I may cry. I'm just telling you. I may cry. Okay, I'm going to do dimensionals on the back of this since we have the ribbon on it. And I'm not putting a whole ton like I normally would just because the front of this is really sturdy. Oh, that's unraveling. I thought that was a piece of my hair, but it's a piece of the ribbon unraveling. Get that out of the way. Get this piece out of the way. Okay, here we go. My sentiment is a little crooked. Okay, that's the card. Wow. Wow, that took a while to get to the end, but I really love the colors. I know the light isn't really letting the true, yeah, nope, that didn't help. Letting the true color shine through, but hopefully I can get a good picture so you can see just how pretty this copper and this Island Indigo is together. It's, look how shiny and gorgeous that embossing powder is. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully I don't have to edit this video within an inch of its life. Maybe I will, who knows. I'll hopefully be back on Monday for another card making video. I apologize for not having one this last Monday, but I have had a headache for 5 days And today I was just like, I've got to get some stuff done. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. So it started to rain, so I think that helped a whole bunch. So my head isn't hurting nearly as bad as it was. I do feel better. So anyway, so I should be back on Monday, and then of course next Friday for another Festive Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I link to whatever products I can in the description box below. You can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook as TheJollyFatElf. Links to my blog, Stampin' Up, everything will be in the description box below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know it was probably torture to watch, but I do appreciate you watching. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe. I'm going to try to put out 2 videos a week. Sometimes that'll happen, sometimes it won't. It'll just depend, but that's my goal. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.